ready with me to, what am I doing? Oh, I'm going to the gas station to get energy drinks and some sour cream and onion chips because they sound good. You're also coming here for a reading update, so let's get into that. I am 13% into Dirty Curve, and it's been interesting to say the least. So I don't dislike it. I just I'm struggling with Tobias. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's exactly what you would expect out of an athlete that is like as good as he is, used to getting his way, has his coaches like undivided support no matter what, almost to a detriment, I think. However, like I understand why he acts the way he acts, I guess is the best way to say it. I just don't really like it right now. Like I want him to be nicer to Mer, who is our heroine. Sorry, it took me a second. Our heroine who's hiding a pretty big secret, and like we as a reader know it, but Tobias doesn't know it. Not that I think that he would care at this juncture, because right now it's really just like a game of, did I go too far? Really just a game of like him trying to pull the purse string, like the strings, and just be like, oh, well, you have to because coach said, or it's really just about the power play for him right now. So, but she has it, I don't even think it's a spoiler because like you find out like, whatever, we're spoiling. So we find out she has a kid pretty early on, and what do you call it? I lost my train of thought. So we find out she has a kid pretty early on, and nobody knows. That's why she has like specific hours or whatever. But Coach Reed specifically requested that she be the one that works with his athletes, and Tobias is like the most important athlete for the baseball team currently, and he needs help passing his classes. Not that he can't do it, it's just like for him, school isn't his main focus, because you know he's gonna go pro, it's his junior year, like he's leaving as soon as the draft happens, etc., etc. So also, I'm not putting any makeup on today because like I went to the pool yesterday, and I like to keep my like face nice and makeup free after I go, just because like I wear a pound of sunscreen to help with everything. So I just put on moisturizer with some sunscreen and then leave my skin to fight another day. But so that's where I am. I can't really have any thoughts just yet because there hasn't been anything like so polarizing that I have like a really strong opinion on the book just yet, because we're still really getting to know the players, getting to know the hero and heroine. Something's up with Coach Reed and Mer though. My suspicion is that he's her dad, and he's disappointed in her being pregnant and like having the kid and things like that. So yeah, those are my theories. But yeah, past that, I haven't read too much, but my goal today, oh, my nose ring always does that. My goal today is to get a little bit further into the book and, I don't know, see how I'm feeling about it all. So check in soon. Okay, so I did an update yesterday, and I just gotten done painting. So I'm painting the outside of my house right now. I just gotten done painting, and I looked horrible. My hair is everywhere, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to redo that clip because I just, in good conscience, couldn't put it up. So as you can tell, I'm outside. The Florida sun is already beating upon me. I have a lot of like projects to do around the house, outside the house. I cut down this bush, so I'll probably like pan over to it in a second. But I am here to update you about Dirty Curve. My nosy neighbors. Anyway, I'm here to update you about Dirty Curve. So I'm about 44% into the book, and I love Tobias. I think we all thought I was going to be here, so here we are. I really do like him. I like the fact that, like, he's really misunderstood, you know what I mean? And most of that's not his fault, though, because, like, he plays into the picture that the media has created for him. The school media, obviously, like Instagram, social media, etc. So, I mean, it's totally his fault, but at the same time, he's a really great guy. And so, okay, so now there's a secret in the synopsis that we're supposed to find out about it, right? And I can't figure out if the secret in the synopsis is the fact that she has a kid, which I really don't think is a spoiler, because you find out in, like, the first or second chapter. So before anybody, like, gets their pitchfork is like, oh my god, you're telling everything. I'm not. So I don't know if it's the fact that she has a kid or if there's, like, something deeper here, because I'm pretty positive she's Coach's daughter. And I find that to be very interesting. But I could also be super wrong about this. Like, what I like about doing the vlogs is that I can spitball all of my ideas and I'm either really right or super wrong. So, with all that being said, you're probably going to pan to some B-roll right now, if I figure out how to do B-roll in time, of the bush I cut down. It still looks horrible, though. But anyway, the bush that I cut down, and then I'm going to start painting. And I don't know what audiobooks I'm going to listen to, because I just finished one last night, and I've been reading Dirty Curve on my Kindle. So, but I'm listening to an audiobook, and I'm trying to get as much done as I can before it becomes like 90 degrees plus out here, because as you can tell, I already have kind of like a fine layer of sweat building. Because, you know, Florida in the summer. My goodness, what a difference a shower makes. Hey, hi, how are ya? I finished Dirty Curve, and I'm so sorry, because I know that last time I updated was at 44%, but after I got done painting outside, I ate some breakfast, and then Bella and I snuggled up on the couch, and I literally couldn't stop reading it. I think my mom even called at one point. I was like, hey, I'm in the middle of something. I'll call you back. And yes, I was in the middle of reading. So, Mom, if you saw this, like, still love you. Okay, so I remember, like, when I first introduced this, I was talking about Tobias and how, like, I wasn't sure about him. And I stand by that initial reaction to him because, and I read this in the author's note at the end, like, the transformation and the growth that he had to go through as a character really was kind of polarizing in the beginning, because you wanted to like him. I really wanted to like him because he had, like, the attributes that I truly love in a hero, but there's just something about him that I wasn't quite sold on just yet, because he played a little bit too much into the playboy persona that everybody labeled him as, which was super frustrating, because you got glimpses of who he was. And it wasn't really until he started to, like, trust Mayor, until he started to allow himself to really accept the fact that she wasn't just his tutor, but was, like, something more, that you start to see that side of him that was really there all along, but he just never let show. Like, he's such a compassionate person. He works so hard. He's so determined to be successful in his sport. And, you know, he's supposed to go #1 in the draft. He plays baseball too. Dirty Curve, get it? Because he's a pitcher. So I loved all those aspects of his character. I just felt like something was missing until he really started to open up to Mayor, and she really started to let him in. And I just loved, and I can't believe I'm going to say this publicly, but I just loved the slow burn aspect of this romance, because it never would have worked if they just jumped straight into bed together. It never would have worked if they didn't take their time. So I just appreciated so much that Meagan, may I call you Meagan? Meagan let the characters really grow together, and let Tobias grow up a little bit more, and really let him be the man that we all know he could be, but it took him a little bit of time to get there. Their first kiss, it was scorching, #1, but it was also just perfection. Like when it came, how it showed up, it was just everything. And then the first time they slept together, I like literally, my Kindle almost lit on fire. I'm not even gonna lie. I truly adored this story, and I love these characters. And Mer, oh my goodness, she's been through so much. I'm not gonna spoil what the secret was, only to say, what? Like a part of me wanted to go back and be like, okay, what clues did I miss? Because, oh, what? But I'm not going to, because I still have more books to read for this vlog, and one of them's 500 plus pages. But just know that whatever I thought, I was wrong. And I'm not going to spoil that secret, because it really has a lot to do with like the last 25% of the story. And I want it to be authentic if you haven't read the book. If you have, then you know what I'm talking about. And I just really, I know in the author's note, she said that she'd been sitting on the story for a couple of years, and, you know, the characters have been talking to her for a while, and she really wanted to do them justice. And I felt like Tobias got the character development he needed and really grew into the man that he could be. And all I'm gonna say is like, so we already knew that there was a baby involved, because like, it's not a secret. I mean, maybe it was supposed to be a secret, but in the first chapter, like, she's referenced very heavily, and in the second chapter, like, we know what's going on. There's a scene between Tobias and Bailey in the end, and they're on the beach. And my heart just pitter-pattered. Like, what he did for them and how hard he worked for his girls. You can't tell me anything about this man, okay? Like, he had me in the first half, but I fell in love with him in the second half. And I love a book that maybe I'm not sold on the hero there in the beginning, and maybe they're not necessarily who I want them to be, but they let down that facade and they finally let themselves be who they want to be. And that's definitely who Tobias is. And I just love that for him, and I love that for Mer. So I'm giving this 5 stars, even though I just put up 10 fingers, 10 hands. Anyway, 10 hands, 10 fingers, whatever. Giving this 5 stars. I loved it. I really wish this wasn't a standalone, because there are some characters that I was kind of hoping we would get their story, and who knows, like, she could always change her mind later and like actually start a story for them. But I really adored this book. So we're at a 5 star so far. I've got Say You Swear and Fumbled Hearts up next. I think I'm gonna go ahead and listen to Say You Swear, because, well, you guys know how I feel about love triangles. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe listening to it gives it a better chance, because I'm already kind of going in like, ugh, it's a love triangle. But that's the update for now. I'm going to be working on, let me see if I can do this delicately without knocking anything over. But tonight I'm going to be working on my diamond painting, and I'm only giving like a little peep, even though the colors are stunning. And I'm probably going to start listening to Say You Swear. So really excited to do some updates about that. The fam and I are doing like a day trip down to Tampa tomorrow. The Orioles are playing the Tampa Bay Rays, so we're going to the game. My sister and her boyfriend are coming, and then we're turning around to drive right back. And then my mom and I are attending a Title I conference on Wednesday and Thursday. So it's gonna be kind of a busy week, but I read 19 books on average during the school year, so nothing's gonna keep me down. Yeah, so stay tuned for the next update on Say You Swear. Oh my goodness, I am so tired. So we went to Tampa Bay yesterday because I live in Florida, And we went to Tampa because my sister lives down there with her boyfriend, and the Orioles, who are like, who's my family's favorite baseball team. They were down there playing. I was like, oh my gosh, it'd be so much fun. Like, we day trip it, we go to the game, we hang out, we have the best time, we come back. And I had a work conference today, and I have it tomorrow as well. So like, I rolled in there at 8 o'clock in the morning on like 3 hours of sleep after driving 4 hours down, watching the game, and then riding 4 hours back. I didn't drive. My dad always drives. And let me tell you that I am exhausted. 21-year-old Kyan would have rebounded like nobody's business. But I don't rebound quite like that anymore, apparently. And Bella and I, when I got home from work, we took a little nap. And now it's 9-something. I gotta eat. And then I think I might be tired enough to go back to bed. So, but I had to come and talk about Say You Swear because I started the audiobook yesterday, and I'm like I'm listening to the audio, but also like reading on my Kindle. So I'm 33% in. I don't know, whatever 200 pages into this book is. And okay, I said this is going to be short, but I can't promise it. All right, so we very clearly have a love triangle, and I very clearly have a favorite, and I will burn the world down at page 552 if she doesn't end up with the man I want her to end up with. So we have a very close-knit group of friends. You have Brady, you have Chase, you have Mason. Mason is Ariana's twin sister, and then you have Cameron, and Cameron is Ariana's best friend. Okay, they've all grown up next to each other. They all lived in the same neighborhood. They all went to the same high school, and now they're all going to the same college. Mason, super overprotective of Ariana. Ariana, been in love with Chase for as long as we can remember, right? However, all three of the boys play for the college football team on campus, and Noah enters the chat, and he's the star quarterback, right? Mason is a redshirt quarterback, so he'll take Noah's position once he like leaves and he gets drafted, I believe, is like the vibes I'm getting. Neither here nor there, because Noah Riley, I adore Noah Riley. Noah Riley is the man that I dream one day to end up with. And I don't mean like a professional football player, but I also wouldn't turn my nose up at that because I love a good live sports game. But moving on. I mean, he's thoughtful. I mean that he has a really good sense of humor, and he's determined, and he's hardworking, and he sees so much of Ariana that the people who have known her for her whole life don't see. They see her grappling with a secret that her and Chase have. They see her trying to put the pieces back together. Like, he sees her moving on, and he acknowledges all of that, and he supports her through all of that. And like, I think it's so cute. And like, the scene is, I can't remember what percentage it is because like I said, I'm already 200 pages into it because I listened to the audio on the way back from Tampa yesterday. So I listened to the audio, and that's the only reason I'm as far as I am. Also too, like, I can't stop reading it. I literally had to get up off the couch, prop this up, and plug my phone in so I could do this update because I want to keep reading, but I didn't want to not have a starting point for this. So I believe the love triangle, and I say this respectfully before anybody gets in my comments and is like, well, I mean, if anyone's gonna watch this video, just kidding. If anybody gets in my comment section and is like, it's a spoiler, but it's not, because in the blurb and in the synopsis, it talks about her first love and it talks about her second love and how the first love comes back. So if you're not getting love triangle vibes from that, I don't know what's happening. Anyway, Ariana is the top of the triangle. We have Chase as her first love, and we have Noah as her second love. Who will ultimately get her heart? That's what we're focused on right now. And I'm really mad at Meredith for putting this book on my list because she's been trying to get me to read it forever. And I was like, no, it's 552 pages. It's a love triangle. There's only one love triangle book that I like, and it's written by Pam Godwin. And that's a trilogy. But I'm not going to go into it. Anyway, but I'm finding myself like very obsessed with this book because the one thing that sometimes I can't handle in love triangles is just the angst of it all. But I don't feel angsty reading this. Like, I just feel like we're with Ariana on this journey of entering college, of like meeting Noah, of like becoming friends with him, of like realizing that like she's attracted to him, and her journey of being like, you know what, yeah, like I made the decision I made with Chase and it blew up in my face, but how do I move past that? So it doesn't feel stressful to me, mostly because like in my heart, I can't believe that she ends up with Chase. I can't. Like, I get it. Like, first loves are tough. I understand it. But like I said, I'll burn the world down. The fictional world, of course, not the real world. The fictional world down if she doesn't end up with Noah Riley. So I'm going to go eat some mac and cheese because, I don't know, I'm just really craving mac and cheese. I'm going to go eat some mac and cheese. I'm going to cuddle back up on the couch with Belle, and I'm going to keep reading. And more than likely, I will update tomorrow before I go to the conference. I'm going to have to do it in the car because I'm not a morning person, so I'm never organized enough. Let's just say I don't have my business together before like 8:30 in the morning. Anyway, so I'll update here soon. But like, Noah Riley is the man, and I won't hear any arguments about it. So here we are. Okay. I come to you with an update of Say You Swear. I brought this in so I could tell you, I guess, the percentage I am. I've hit, and I guess I'll put a spoiler tag because like I've got a lot to say about this book. And right now, I won't say that it's like all positive. Well, no, I don't think it's really negative either. So I've hit the part where Ari's been hit by the car. She's in the hospital. She has amnesia. She thinks she is with Chase, and she's not. However, her friends and family let her believe that, and it just breaks Noah's heart. So Chase is stale like a saltine cracker, and if MB ever writes his story, I won't read it because he is the type of villain that I don't think is redeemable. Let me explain. Because I love a good morally gray man and like redeemable and stuff, but like this is a point where he lets her go, where he acknowledges the fact that she can't remember, so he has to remember for her. He has to be like, listen, like something happened. I don't want to trigger you, but like you and I aren't together anymore. It's actually you and Noah. That was his moment to be the bigger person, to do the right thing, and he doesn't. And I have no respect for him anymore. I also lose a huge amount of respect for her family and Cameron as well, because they all know that Ariana's in love with Noah, that she's told Chase that she doesn't want to be with him. And I get it. She has amnesia. I understand they don't want to cause any type of thing to trigger her or to like hurt her in any way. And like, I get that maybe in their minds they're coming from a good place, but let me be clear, trash. Absolute garbage, because unless a medical professional tells me that like I can't tell my sister something, I'm telling her. And I don't care who it hurts on the periphery of it, because when she gets her memory back, if she gets her memory back, she's not coming to blame me for doing the wrong thing. And it bothers me because her family should have her best intentions in mind, and lying to her about who she's with is not having her best intentions. And I'm just angry because Noah's done nothing but care for Ariana, be a good friend to her, teach her how to cook, do little things. Like, it just makes me mad that they don't respect the relationship that him and Ariana have. And then for her to be losing their baby and then Chase trying to claim it as his, like, whoa. I'm just mad about it because, number one, this is already a love triangle, and anyway, it's already a love triangle. Number two, you give her amnesia, which I didn't see the amnesia thing coming, and I find it to be like an interesting plot point. Number three, you have people who supposedly care about her and supposedly love her and supposedly would like ride or die for her, and they're not even telling her the truth. It really bothers me. So anyway, I'm 70% into Say You Swear. I am just mad right now. I'm sure Meredith wouldn't make me read a book, and I say make me, but like she wouldn't give me a book to read that doesn't have a happily ever after. I'm just having a hard time with it right now because Noah is so hurt, and Ariana's also hurt because, and she doesn't obviously realize it, but like I'm hurting for her because like, why is your family lying to you? Anyway, that's the update. I'm a little angry about it. Maybe I'll simmer down by the time I finish. I will finish tonight because I'm gonna go eat some dinner, a little bit of like enchilada bake, and then I'm gonna cuddle up on the couch and read for the rest of the night. So I will be finishing Say You Swear today. So we'll see how I feel and where it levels out at the end of the book. I'm really hoping that the ending justifies what the characters are going through right now because I just didn't like it. And Chase is still a saltine cracker, and I'm never gonna come off of that. So let's talk about my final thoughts for Say You Swear, and then get you caught up on where I am in Fumbled Hearts. I wanted to sit on the ending of Say You Swear for just a little bit because there was a lot that happened in that book, and I was really, really just mad when of course Belle wants to get up at this point. Anyway, I was just really, really mad when I finished that book because of how her family acted at the end and how Chase acted at the end and how much that broke Noah's heart, that I needed some time to really think about the book overall, not just like the last chapters, but everything that led up to the last chapters. So for me, Say You Swear is a 4-star book. And for me, like 4 stars, I don't think there's anything wrong with the 4-star. I don't really think there's anything wrong with the 3-star book. Like they all have their places. But I can't sit here and say that Say You Swear is a 5-star book for me because number one, it's a love triangle. And there's only one love triangle I like. And number two, I just couldn't get behind how her family acted and how Chase acted. Mostly Chase, because he saw an opportunity and he took it. But it was just so distasteful the way he did it. You literally lied to her. And she didn't want people to tell her the truth, but she didn't want people to lie to her, right? And it was only when Cam, her best friend, finally was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. We're done. This is what's going on, that she really started to dig for answers and that she got the answers that she had been looking for. I will say though, this book is good, bad, indifferent, very polarizing. And I say that to mean that it makes you feel a lot. And I can see why people see this as a 5-star book. I can see why people are obsessed with it. I just have no respect for the way her family acted and the way that Chase acted. And it is what it is. So now we're moving on to Fumbled Hearts, and I'm enjoying it so far. I'm about 4 hours into the audiobook, and I am enjoying listening to it, and I'm enjoying the story. It is high school. I don't think I've read one of those in a while. If I have, don't throw shade in the comments. I can't remember reading one in a while. So this is, she left where she used to live because she had a family tragedy, and then she came to live with her cousin, like next door to her cousin, not with her cousin. She's a little bit older than most seniors are. You find out why. I don't want to spoil the why because I feel like it's important for you to find out in the same way that I found out. Not that it's bad or anything, but just you have to be just as confused as I was, okay? Anyway, so you have Kaleli. So when I come back, I'll be able to say it correctly. And you would think, like me listening to the audiobook, I would know how to say her name correctly. And Nathaniel. And I just, wait, is his name Nathaniel? You know what? We're gonna find out together. I'm gonna use my laptop. This is such an awkward Fumbled Hearts. This is such an awkward update because I felt like I had the names like nailed and ready to go. There's no way. No, it is Nathaniel because Say You Swear was Noah. Hang on, It's taking forever to scroll. I'm leaving this in here too. Kalani and Nate. So Kalani and Nate, I really like Nate. And I think that he probably will end up being my favorite character of this book because Kalani is very, this isn't, I don't feel like it's spoiling anything because you learn this like very on. She's like very indifferent to the things that are happening around her. And there are reasons for that. So it's hard for me to connect with her because I don't know what we're doing. And quite frankly, I don't know if she knows what we're doing. And that's okay because, you know, Nate's there to balance her out. I really like him. I like how we're slowly starting to see the other side of the playboy. So he has a reputation. He's lived up to the reputation because, oh, it's a piece of hair. Because why not, right? And we're starting to really see the other side of him, the side that doesn't like the reputation, that kind of just fed into it because why not? Like I said, I'm 4 hours into the audiobook and it's a 12-hour audiobook, so I don't know what the percentage is. My math friends out there can do that. I haven't listened to anything today because I went to film this clip yesterday and I hated everything about the clip. So I was like, you know what? I'll just wait. I'll film one tomorrow. It'll all be okay. So here I am filming the clip so I can keep listening to the audiobook. I will say I'm really enjoying the cast, the group that we're meeting in this because Nate is the star quarterback of the football team. So she makes like quick friends with the football guys, Parker being her best friends. And I'm really enjoying kind of their dynamic and like how she's not a part of the team, but she's really like made herself into like somebody they can all be friends with. And I really like that. And I really like the fact that she's knowledgeable about football. I mean, I'm knowledgeable about football. And I like when females are represented as someone who can know about sports and it'd be cool because it is cool. So that's my update. Next time you see me, I will have something more conclusive to say because I want to give the opportunity for the story to build and me to kind of really understand like what the relationship looks like because right now it's just a whole lot of back and forth. And there really hasn't been a whole lot more than that. And I'm just interested to see that when the walls finally crumble, what does that look like? So that's your update for now. And also you guys are seeing this like way late, but Crumble had their weekly cookies and one was a galaxy brownie cookie and it tastes exactly like the galaxy brownies from when we were kids. So good. So yes, that's the update. And I'll be back soon with some more thoughts on Kalani and Nate. Hey everybody, I'm here to close out our reading vlog for Meagan Brandy. I wanted to kind of give some final thoughts on Fumbled Hearts too because as I was going through editing, I realized I didn't ever really sit down. But first, let's talk about my new Fourth Wings sweatshirt. I don't know how all the booktubers do it. It says, there's nowhere you could go that I wouldn't find you, Violence. And that is Zayden. My girl over at Books Make Me Brainy, she made it. It's on her site, so I'll link it down below because everybody needs as much Fourth Wing merchandise as possible, especially as we get closer and closer to Iron Flame, which I know is probably gonna, oh my gosh, my hair, which is probably gonna destroy me. But Meagan Brandy, let's talk about it. Fumbled Hearts, I enjoyed. So I ended up giving that book 4 stars because there was a third act conflict. And y'all, I know that there's always a third act conflict in romance. I know that it's coming. I know all of these things, but I just, like, I understand why the main characters made the decisions they made and why they kind of took a step back. In the end, I just would have liked to see them work it out, like, together. I would have really liked to see them, instead of stepping back and not necessarily, like, I just would have liked to see them as a couple really attack the things that they needed to attack. However, I understood why Meagan wrote it the way that she did. When I read the book, I was just like, oh my God, not another third act conflict that could probably have been avoided if maybe we just communicated a little bit better. But I get it, like, there has to be conflict before resolution, before the happily ever after. So I really enjoyed it. The main character did grow on me. I do remember, and I don't know if I said this just to Mer or if I actually put it in the vlog. It's escaping me right now, but I did have a big issue with her in the beginning. So I'm really glad that I ended up liking her, because it would have been really awkward if I didn't. Right? So let's go ahead and run it down, even though I don't remember what I gave each book. So I'm gonna have to go get my journal. So 2 seconds. Okay, I'm back, and I have my reading journal that I'm really actually gonna get a cover for, because I'm probably gonna carry it into next year, because I did a lot of like spreads that I don't want to lose. Anyway, that's not why you're here. You're here because we're gonna talk about where I rated everything. Okay, so I was right. So Dirty Curve, I gave 5 stars. It was everything that I love in a sports romance, and I didn't guess the twist, which I thought was kind of fun. Say You Swear, I did give 4 stars, and I gave 4 stars because I didn't love the way that her family handled everything. And you've already seen my rant about it, so I'm not gonna go back into it, but just know that I'm filming this in early September, and I still feel the same. And then I gave Fumbled Hearts, I gave it 5 stars. I think I might have bumped it down on Goodreads. I can't remember. So we're gonna go with 5 stars because that's what I wrote in June. I have the right J, it's right here. Anyway, in June when I read the book. So we're gonna go with 5 stars, because even though there was that third act breakup, or like whatever we wanna call it, I still understood the reasoning behind it and why the characters needed that time. So I didn't hate it as much as I read a third act breakup a couple weeks ago that I wasn't the biggest fan of. But I'm really excited because this actually marks the first episode of the Mer Made Me Do It series. And I did start with one of her favorite authors, and this is also the first indie author that she ever read. So it feels kind of fitting that it's going to be the first episode that goes up on the channel. So I hope you enjoyed this first vlog. Hopefully it wasn't too long, but I did get a little ranty there for a bit. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section if you're thinking of picking up any of these books, or if you've read them and you too have thoughts on them. Make sure to do all of those YouTube-y things like comment, subscribe, and I will catch you here on Kayana's Booked for the next episode. Y'all have a good one.